What's going on, AJ? How you feeling after the win tonight?
I'm good, man. Little rust. It's been about a year, but you know, you got the unanimous decision, so I'm happy. You know, it's nice to get back in there and put on a great show. Obviously, I wasn't too excited with the way it went, but it's kind of hard to get somebody off you that's trying to hold you down the whole time.
Speaking of ring rust, how did you feel in there? Did you feel any ring rust tonight?
Not really. I wouldn't say ring rust. You know, it's just wrestling, I guess. You know, it's one of my strong suits, but at the same time, it's hard to kind of adjust and get somebody off of you that's literally just trying to lay on you. You know, I tried to bait him a couple times by dropping the guard, giving him an opportunity to pass guard. He didn't want to pass guard or anything. So it's just little adjustments. You know, got to go back to the drawing board and continue to grow and continue to work new things.
Was there any point in the fight where you realized that you'd have to try to win from the bottom position, where you just knew, you know, he'd be on top of you and you would have to figure out how to win from the bottom?
Definitely. That's always my key, you know. Keep the guard open, give him the opportunity to pass if he wants to pass. You know, it doesn't show that you're trying to win the fight off your back if you're holding your guard closed and you're not throwing punches. So my main thing is leave the guard open. If he wants to pass, I'll let him pass. But at the same time, just stay active, you know. That's my main thing, be active. I felt like I could have done a little bit more output, but like I said, it's hard to get somebody off you that's just trying to hump your leg the whole time.
Yeah, speaking of that, last question from me. What would you rate, or how would you assess the performance put forth by Sid? Do you think that's a decent way to come in and try to beat a guy like you?
It was a good performance, you know. Wrestling is that's the thing with wrestling. If you can take somebody down and get them to the ground at any point in the fight, I feel you can win the fight, but you got to cause damage, you know. That's the main thing is damage, you know. Who's more active? At the end of the day, it's like a sport. You know, the stats really matter. How many punches are landing, who's causing damage, and who's trying to give the fans entertainment, because this is the entertainment world. So overall, I wouldn't say I was too happy with my performance, you know, laying off for a year almost and then coming back to a laying on my back decision is not the way I wanted it, especially trying to get back in that tournament, you know. Obviously being out with staph infection and then getting right back into the gym, into full training camp. It's just been continuous training, you know. So to go out there and have a performance like that, I wasn't too happy with myself, but obviously I thank the Creator and the Lord for giving me the victory.
AJ, obviously the elephant in the room for a few months now is what's going on with Bellator. Is it going away? This is all you've ever known, man. What goes through your head as you're preparing for this fight? Because you just mentioned, I hope I get back in the tournament. We don't know if 302 exists, after tonight. So how do you kind of reconcile that in your head as you're trying to prepare for a fight when you might not know when your next one's going to be or where it's going to be?
I would say just focused on the job that's at hand, you know. That was my whole thing, was go in there and prove that I want to be in that tournament, you know, prove that you know, I'm the man to win that Grand Prix belt, you know, finish the Mercenaries hit list, as I call it. It's not a regular world title, you know. It's got 8 names on that belt, one of them including mine. So, excuse me, I feel anybody that wants that belt, they gotta walk through me, you know. So to be in that tournament, obviously Usman's out, but yeah, that Grand Prix belt is where it's at for me.
And if Bellator doesn't exist anymore and there's no Grand Prix to finish off, like what would happen with you then? I mean, obviously you're going to go somewhere else. You're going to get work. I feel like you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I guess what mentally do you have to work through to not have to think about that kind of stuff as you're trying to get ready to take this guy on?
Man, I don't know. That's where I just have to wait and see. So this fight in particular, this is why I wanted to come out and try to get a finish, you know, just so I could solidify, like, hey, I'm here and this is what I'm working for, is to finish people. But things work in mysterious ways. They don't always work out the way that you plan. But at the end of the day, you know, I know the man upstairs has a plan for me, bigger or more than anything I can understand. So for me, it's just stay prayed up and continue to walk one foot in front of another.
AJ, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Mercenary, obviously, you know the definition of that. And I know you weren't happy with the result from yourself or your performance, but you painted the canvas with his blood, you know, with those elbows. What kind of sense of pride do you have knowing, like, yes, not my best performance, but to be on your back and to be so effective and have so much damage do you take away from this fight?
Well, that's mercenary, you know what I mean? Wherever you put them, they're good at it. You know, they're going to make sure that the job gets done. Sometimes the job can be a little sloppy. Sometimes the job can be neck deep. But at the end of the day, you got to continue to persevere and fight through and fight on. This is one of those fights where I could have fought another 3 rounds like that, you know. I wasn't tired. I wish I could have had a little more output, but I don't know. That's just the most frustrating part for me, you know. It's just having somebody lay on me like that. So for me, it's when I get back in the gym, I have one of the best wrestlers in the world, Joey Davis, around me. So it's a matter of just getting him to lay on me and be able to get him off of me, you know. It was different, you know. I tried to play a little bit of butterfly guard, elevate the legs, but he sat back heavy, so elevating the legs is going to be hard to do. But then when I sit up, he's still sitting back, you know what I mean? So it's if you haven't been in that position and you haven't had somebody that's willing to just take whatever you're doing and get beat up to hold you down, you're not going to understand. But it's my job to figure out how to get better and do better in those situations. So as soon as I get back to the gym, you know, I'm going to sit down with my father and we're going to figure out how to do better at that.
Last one for me. You were obviously just asked about the future of this promotion. A few years back, I talked to you in one of your first fights here in Chicago. You said you wanted to be the Floyd Mayweather here in Bellator, and you've gone on. You've won $1 Million Grand Prix. You've won a championship. You've done so much, and this is, as was mentioned, this has been the only home you've known. What kind of sense of legacy and pride do you take and attach AJ McKee and Bellator?
Man, this is, you know, everything that I've been built off of, everything I know has been through Bellator. This is my home. So to see it go away, it's sad, but at the same time, you know, it's just all business for me at this point, you know. The Bellator is like a home to me. Everybody here, the whole organization, the staff, everybody's just very loving. Everybody caters to what needs to be done, and they help out like a team, you know. So to see that whole family-orientated scenario go away, I'm a little bummed, you know, but you just, like I said, you keep one foot in front of another and you keep walking. Yeah, this journey's not going to stop. It's just going to continue to go and go and go, you know. So, like I said, I wish everybody the best in Bellator. I hope everybody's taken care of, everybody's okay, and, you know, it's always peace and love and blessings for me. Thank you.
Hey, AJ. So your activity from the bottom has been something that most other fighters haven't been able to replicate in MMA. Is that something that you're constantly drilling in the gym and trying to make sure that if you do end up on your back that you're going to be able to still win a fight?
I think it's a good key to have. It's not something I really drill. It's something I know I have just by nature. It's the will to fight, the will to just continue to go. And yeah, that's like my ace in my pocket, you know. It's something I know I can always rely on. So it's really just trying to figure out how to adapt new ways into my arsenal.
And I wanted to ask what your thoughts were on the Bellator semifinal, Alexander Shabliy versus Patricky Pitbull. What did you think about Shabli's performance, if you saw it at all?
It was a great performance. Great fight for him, you know. He beat Patricky in a fashionable way. Flawless victory. So, you know, before the tournament, he said he wanted to fight. So, you know, hopefully I get back in that tournament and we get to put on the show that he wants to put on, and I get to collect that belt that I've always wanted. That'd be a great one.
What's up, AJ? How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Pretty good. Have you ever been covered in that much of another man's blood, and did that affect the grappling or anything like that throughout the fight?
No, I don't think. I've been covered in some nasty blood before, but I think that was probably the worst. I literally went and showered, and I was spitting his blood up. I was like, oh, I know I'm not bleeding, but this is kind of gnarly. It was different, but it doesn't. Blood actually gets very sticky I don't know if you've noticed cuts dry up and stuff. It gets sticky, so it wasn't really too slippery, but it was everywhere. That's
Pretty
for sure.
gross.
Yeah, it's part of the game,
Yeah, definitely. And then lastly, you've kept a somewhat of a low profile as of late, and of course you're an amazing fighter, but you mentioned the word entertainment. I feel like you're an entertainer at your core. You've always entertained all the fans in attendance and around the world. Do you still want to be like the face of the fight game, or are you just focused on racking up wins, or do you want that, that face of the fight game title?
I'd love to be the face of the fight game, not just for myself, but for my family, the legacy, my father's career. I got a 6-year-old brother. I got a 17-year-old brother, so it's really just passing on for the younger generations and trying to make an example for them and show them what and how to work, and including all the guys down at Body Shop. Just show them how to work, The same way I fought that fight, they see me do that in the gym day in, day out. So they know, like, okay, if it goes here, this is what we can at least expect, He's not going to stop. He's going to continue to come. But it's entertainment, That's why that third round, I was ready to get back out there, and I wanted to stand up a little bit, but every kick I threw, he caught it and went into a takedown. And I should have known that was coming. I kind of knew it was coming, but it's just back to the drawing board, man. Back to the drawing board, and, continue to grow and show.
Congrats on another big win. Thank you for all the
Thank
great things you've done for this promotion over the years.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Salute, Bellator. Thank you, guys.